Hello everybody and welcome back to Raza Streaming Network. I'm the hostess of the channel, Ashley LGR. I want to go over something for warriors specifically, and that is my favorite weapon list from level 1 to 99, excluding of course Master and Grandmaster, because it pretty much makes you go the Master and Grandmaster weapon route, so those really don't count. But the level 1 to 99 weapons are something truly special. They, they really symbolize your ascension in not just in levels, but also in experience, damage, also aesthetic. There are weapons that I choose that may not do as much damage as a weapon prior to it, but it aesthetically looks so much more pleasing to the eye, especially since the weapons are so extremely rare. So, first thing we're going to start off with is as soon as you start the game, you're going to want to go with an epi, or an epi, however you want to pronounce it. You're going to want to start with one of these. Now, these little guys are just your very basic level 2 weapon. You'll get it you'll have it right off the hop. You can either stick with the dirk that the beginning of the game gets you, or you can equip this epi here, which, as you can see, it's for level 2 and up, and it deals a minimum of 3 damage to a maximum of 13 for small creatures. Now, and then for large creatures, it does a minimum of 5 damage to a maximum of 15. So it's pretty good for your standard monster. So what is S and L? Well, I explained that in another tutorial before, and I'll explain it in a short version here for you. And when you're dealing with an S creature, it's pretty much a creature that only takes up 1 square. Now imagine this Rambutan is only 1 square, and then a creature that is L takes up a much larger square. So on the map it might only be 1 square, but the creature is large enough that it takes up either 4 of these squares or even 2 of these squares, like those giant shrieker mushrooms in East Woods. Those are considered L creatures, large creatures. Moving on, at level 7, you'll want to go next with the Lura's Saber. So at level 7, you're going to get this little purplish pink hilted weapon, and as you can see, this one starts to increase the damage a little bit more. So at level 7, you're now dealing a minimum of 18 damage to a maximum of 28 damage, both to small and large creatures. So this is a very well balanced low level weapon. So once you reach level 7, you're going to discard the epi and go with the Lura's Saber. Next up, after you've been with the Lura's Saber for a while, the next one you're going to go for is the Hatchet. Now, the Hatchet does an exceedingly insane amount of damage for its level. You get it at level 13, so you stick with the Lura's Saber until level 13. Then you equip the Hatchet, which does a minimum of 1 damage to a maximum of 50. So it can almost do as much as double the damage that your Lura's Saber can do. And it usually averages off around 25 to like 40 damage. I've very rarely seen the Hatchet do very, very little damage. So the Hatchet is an exceptional weapon to choose from once you get from level 13, and you will wear that until level 20. Now, I choose the weapon over the Claydheim or the Hatchet over the Claydheim, which is level 13, because the Claydheim, well, yeah, it does sufficient damage. The hatchet is just overall better. Not just because of well, it looks cool, but also because it weighs a lot less than the Cladeheim does. Same with the broadsword. The Cladeheim weighs 8 pounds and the broadsword weighs 9 pounds. Meanwhile, the hatchet only weighs 5 pounds. So the hatchet is a really great lightweight weapon to have when you're equipping all your other armor. Next up, once you reach level 20, you're going to go for your Dragon Scale Sword quest. If someone didn't just hand you a Dragon Scale Sword already. Now the Dragon Scale Sword is the sexiest weapon from level 20 to 50. This really ups the damage. Why? Because you can't miss with it. The Dragon Scale Sword hits its target all the time. That's why its hit is set at 254. That means that the weapon just does not miss when you swing it at an opponent. Its damage minimum of 43, maximum of 53 damage. And against large creatures, a minimum of 63 damage to a maximum of 73 damage. So this weapon is exceptionally great between level 20 and level 41. Or level 50, sorry, not 41. Wear it to level 50. At level 50, you're going to go up a rank. At level 50, you're now going to equip the wooden club, which deals far more damage than the Dragon Scale Sword. Now, the only caveat to this is that the wooden club may be able to miss a few times, depending on your assail levels. So if your assail levels are super low, and the hit here with the wooden club is 0, there's a chance your wooden club might miss a few times on your enemy. So in terms of hitting power, it's not as great as the Dragon Scale Sword is, but in terms of damage when it does hit, it is bonkers. 91 minimum to 110 base damage. And against large creatures, it does a minimum of 90 to a maximum of 120. So this weapon just slaps. And you're going to wear this weapon all the way into your level 70s. Now, once you get to level 75, you can deviate. You can either go the two-handed weapon route, which you can wear a two-handed claymore by that time, or you can go with this weapon, known as the fine claymore. This is a super rare drop, mind you. This is like a 1% drop in Carlopos Island. It's very difficult to get this drop. But if you do manage to do it, although it does a lot less damage than the wooden club does, aesthetically, it looks really, really cool. Now, what's the difference between this one and the two-handed version? Well, this one is a one-handed version. That's the reason why the weapon is super rare. So you can wear it along with a shield, whereas with the two-handed claymore, you can't wear a shield with it. So while the two-handed claymore, you'll be able to deal a lot of damage, enemies will start dealing a fair bit more damage to you because you're not wearing a shield. But with this weapon, you can. Next up, we have the Talganite Axe. Then the Talganite Axe is set to be worn at level 81. It drops in the Able dungeon from a dwarf warrior. You'll see literal dwarf warriors carrying them on their back. And when you kill them, there's a chance that the weapon could drop. Now this baby is awesome. So this one is a minimum of 80 damage to a maximum of 110. And for large creatures, it does a minimum of 100 to 116 maximum damage. It's a bit weighty, as you can see, and you can start wearing it at level 81. And this weapon looks pretty darn awesome. I love this weapon. This weapon's really, really cool. Now at level 85, this is also a super rare drop in Carlopos Island. So at level 85, you can get this great emerald sword. And now what's the difference between it and the two-handed emerald sword? Well, like the other one, like the Claymore, this one's also a one-handed weapon. So you can wield the one-handed emerald sword with a shield. So while you're sacrificing a little bit of damage, aesthetically, it looks pretty darn cool. You'll notice that it does less damage than the Talganite Axe. So if you're looking for damage potential, I recommend the Talganite Axe over the one-handed emerald sword. But aesthetically, it looks pretty cool. Because blue swords, there's just something about blue swords that look freaking awesome. Even though it's supposed to be green. Okay, we'll call it green. So it's a green sword, guys. Because emerald, right? Emerald's supposed to be green. I don't know why it's more like a teal blue, but I guess that's just the color of the times, right? And then once you get into your level 90s, level 95, you're going to venture up to what is known as the Stone Axe. And the Stone Axe weighs only double that of the Hatchet. So this is a really, really great lightweight weapon for insane amount of damage. So you get to where this axe at level 95, it does a base minimum of 155 damage, and it does a maximum of 175 damage, and against large creatures it does a minimum of 160 to a maximum of 190. So this axe is an absolute beast at high level. And then at level 99, I'm going to show you my favorite sword at 99 here. Now I got to put all these other weapons away in order for me to get it out, because this giggity gentleman, please. So in order for me to, no, I don't want to withdraw it. Whoops, sorry. I want to deposit these weapons. Thank you. Let me just deposit them all. Now that we've gone over those tutorials. Ah! Hate it when it just boots you out the door. And there we go. Now, my favorite sword is this baby. Say hello to the two-handed dragon slayer, everybody. I don't even know if I can lift this thing. Let's see. Yeah, this thing is so freaking heavy that even with my strength at 119, I cannot wear it with the armor that I've got on. So, we're going to have to remove a couple of things. That should be enough. Nope. There we go. Look at that beast. So this is the two-handed dragon slayer at level 99. This sexy weapon is just, it's beautiful. However, the thing about it is the fact that, well, it doesn't really do a whole lot of damage. It's just really, really cool looking. This is an unobtainable weapon. So this weapon is something that you can't get in the game anymore. So only a very select few people have it. And as you can see, it does a minimum of 160 damage to a maximum of 220, and against large creatures it does a base minimum of 180 damage to a maximum of 240. So this weapon is actually pretty damn, it's good in terms of damage, but it is super, super heavy. Now this weapon, is like, this weapon is so heavy, it is 70 pounds. Like, this thing just does it does an insane amount of damage for its level, but man, does it require a lot of strength to wield. Now, this two-handed Dragon Slayer does only about 60 damage less than the Grand Master High Brazel Battle Axe. So when you're thinking about a weapon, the two-handed Dragon Slayer is actually pretty good. And I do apologize. The two-handed Dragon Slayer is still obtainable in the game. The one-handed Dragon Slayers are not. So the one that I have, the two-handed one, drops in the Casmanium Mines, if you can even get that far. And that's where you can get this blade. The one-handed ones, I'm sorry to say, are unobtainable anymore. I don't know why they removed the one-handed one but kept the two-handed one. It's silly to me. I always get them confused whether the two-handed one was the one that you can't get anymore, or if the one-handed one is the one. But that's like leveled weapons. My favorite leveled weapons. So I hope you all enjoyed that. And I hope it gives you a little bit of an idea of what direction to go once you get there. For me, I love aesthetic. And I also really love being a shield and weapon warrior. So I like being tanky. I like having a lot of armor class. So I like wearing a lot of armor. So that's the reason why I personally go with the one-handed weapons as opposed to going straight for the two-handed ones when you reach level 71 plus, and you can get two-handed attack and start using two-handed weapons. Even in Mastery, I prefer the one-handed sword and shield over the Grandmaster Battle Axe. So yeah. Once you're a master, right? You get to choose after the Tauren quest whether or not you want the two-handed battle axe or or if you want the one-handed sword known as the Masterful Kata or the Masterful Sada, however you want to pronounce it. And if you choose the Masterful Sada, well, yeah, it may not do as much damage as the Master Battle Axe. You get to wear a shield along with it, so it's beautiful, I think, anyway. So shield and sword, otherwise known as sword and board. That's the kind of warrior that I am. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you again for the next one. Bye.